Hazard pay is back on, baby. And now, in a major news statement, one of the top officials in Washington congratulates Mitch and Joe and talks about getting hazard pay passed right away. Oh my God, everyone's coming to the fruition. I mean, it's like everyone was at the casino and had the same milk together. It's just incredible. I mean, even sirloin would be like, move on over if you don't want to pay the hazard pay. The good news is that you're getting hazard pay, just not cows. They're not essential. They think they're essential, and especially if they're driving a Cadillac, they think they're incredibly essential. But the good news is that you're more essential than any cow in a Cadillac. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is Afternoons LALATE, and this is Purple with exciting, great news about hazard pay, essential workers. It's back on, baby. And now, in a major news statement issued today, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce CEO applauds Mitch, applauds Joe, and says, get the stimulus out for essential workers. Oh my God, I just get a sigh of relief. Hazard pay is back on, baby. Front burner and heating hotter than a toaster with some lobsters watching. If you've not subscribed to this channel, please do, because we're bringing the excitement, we're bringing the updates, and we're bringing the details like no one else. I'm going live, I'm going taped, I'm going upside and down, I'm going left and right, and it's all great, exciting news. Also, like this video because it really helps the video appear high in the rankings. We're killing it. Yesterday, 1,000 new subscribers added to this channel. Let's keep it going. It was one of the most watched days of this channel since October. In this video, I'll be going over what the Chamber of Commerce CEO, U.S. Chamber of Commerce CEO said about Mitch, Joe, and hazard pay today. Then I'll be going over a new concern about a text message about stimulus and why you need to be on high alert if you get that text message. Warning, don't answer it. Then I'll be going over hazard pay and the deal provisions and what you should be expecting. Oh, it's incredible, great news. Let's get to the breaking news. The breaking news is that hazard pay is back on, baby. In transition statements issued by the Biden transition team on Sunday, he said that hazard pay will be offered as part of his second stimulus package. Finally. Now, during his campaign, he talked about hazard pay, and he talked about providing for it, and he talked about essential workers. What's important to understand is what he was talking about is what the original hazard pay bill was that birthed the second video on this channel every day at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time nearly 3 months ago. I have done a hazard pay video every single day, every single month since, I think it's May or June. No one has been on top of hazard pay and essential workers more than you and I in the coverage. And the news is so incredibly important because it was taken out by the Democrats in their last bill proposal less than a month ago. And we were all devastated when we heard it. Well, Joe Biden has now put it back in. Finally. Now, the reaction's kicking in already today. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce CEO over the weekend congratulated Mitch McConnell on his re-election to the Senate and being majority leader of the Senate. He also congratulated Joe Biden on his presidential win. And he encouraged both of them to get stimulus out right away. That's incredible, great news. Now he's also issued a statement saying that Congress must pass essential stimulus right away, right now. Boy, this is incredible. The stimulus bill is essential. This is his words. And the sooner it's done, the better for the beneficiaries and the stimulus, and the better for the markets and the economy. We're very hopeful that there will be a commitment to do this before the inauguration because that's needed. Wow. The stimulus bill is essential, and the sooner it's done, the better for the beneficiaries of the economy. Senator Mitch McConnell, of course, last week was praised by the same head of the U.S. Chamber of Commerce when he said passing another stimulus bill is job one for following the election. Hopefully the partisan passions that have prevented us from doing another rescue package will subside with the election. And I think we need to do it. I think we need to do it right away. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce on Saturday, I said Sunday, I'm so sorry, Saturday congratulated Biden, the president-elect. In a statement, the CEO said that the business group, quote, stands ready to work with the Biden administration and the leaders on both sides of the aisle to restore public health, revitalize our economy, and help build American lives and communities. Wow, that's incredible, great news. So the hazard pay provisions I'm going to get to in 1 second, right after this big warning that I have to give to you, because it's very, very important. A new report from CNBC today says that if someone texts you on your cell phone that you're going to get a $1,200 stimulus check, do not click it. Do not click it. That's the message the IRS is sending to Americans right now. It's a scam. The text message scam says something like, you have received a direct deposit of $1,200 from COVID Trez Fund. Further action is required to accept this payment into your account. Continue here to accept this payment. The link accompanies a fake scheme. Do not click it. Criminals are relentlessly using economic impacts payments, stimulus checks, as a cover to trick taxpayers out of their money or identities, says IRS Commissioner Chuck Rettig in a new statement. This is a scam with a new twist on those who've been seeing so much this entire year. We urge people to remain alert to these type of scams, so do not click it. All right, so now let me get to hazard pay. Oh boy, really exciting. Yesterday on Purple Power Live at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, every day, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I said, who's an essential worker in this room or know someone who's an essential worker? And I said, post in the live chat or the super chat if you're an essential worker, and I'll tell you whether you're covered or not covered in the problem solvers, in the Heroes Act, not the Problem Solvers Bill. And I went through it, and boy, that video was one of the most commented videos ever in nearly 2 months on this channel. And so what I want to do in this video is go over how hazard pay works, its pluses and its negatives, what you need to push as the followers of the Purple Power to make sure they fix the bad parts of it, because there are bad parts of the hazard pay bill. They're not horrible. They're shortcomings, I guess you would say, and how you ensure that you get this done right. Okay, let me go over first the amount. The amount and how you calculate it. First, it's based upon the number of hours you've worked from a period to a period. It was originally written, and I'm saying originally because these things are going to get changed. So I want to tell you generally how they're focusing on it. It was written from a period starting on a date to another date. The first question you're going to ask, well, what if I was laid off? You still get it. What if I work 2 hazard pay jobs? You still get you get it for both of them. You can combine it. Yes. What if I was part-time? You can get it. There is nothing that eliminates you from getting it if you worked the job. I don't care if you were laid off, part-time. It's as simple as that. Okay, the next question that I get, and this is a big question. I was an independent contractor. How do I still get it? Yes. Then the hardest question is, I'm a truck driver and I get paid on the job. I don't get paid by the hour. How do I do this? Well, you have to recreate the number of hours that it takes to do the job, because hazard pay is based upon an hourly calculation. It's not based on a per job basis. So you have to be able to figure that out. Okay, so now you have the hourly calculation. The next provision is the hourly amount. That's ultimately what Joe and Mitch are going to argue over. What's the hourly amount, and how high are we going to take the amount? I'm not going to dwell too much on that, because Joe has it at $10,000 if you work $13 an hour, from the pandemic up to the present, and you're already at the $10,000 threshold. I don't see you getting $10,000. I see it as a smaller amount. I don't think any Republican Senate is going to pass $10,000. So I don't want to dwell on that. What I want to dwell on is making sure you get the money. That's what's really important. So then the next item is, how do you apply for it? If this sounds repetitive, it is, because I detailed this upwards almost 2 months ago, and a lot of things have changed in 2 months. More subscribers, passage of time. So I want you to be up to date to the present. The Democrats' hazard pay bill has a provision in there that the employers apply for you, not you. I'm going to say this again. You cannot apply for it under the Democrats' proposal. There is no website for you to go to. I would get that question all the time. Where's the website where I go? Can you send me the link where I go apply? There is no website. First of all, it's not alive. It hasn't been passed as law. Then even if it was passed as law, there is no website for you to go apply. This is not EIDL. This is not, a job application. You cannot apply. The way the Democrats wrote it is the business owner applies for you. Now, I don't particularly have a problem with the business owner applying for you. It's not the best case scenario. I would prefer it was just you apply for it. But the problem with the Democrats' bill, and about to say if you've been a longtime viewer, is that it's discretionary for the employer to apply for you. What does discretionary mean? It means they can choose not to do it. Yes, they can choose not to do it. Yeah, you're about to hit the camera, right? You're about to hit the phone. What do you mean? What if they don't want to do it? That's great. Did you hear what he just said? I heard what he just said. No arguing there. Please keep it down. Recreating viewers' arguments as they watch my revelation. It's discretionary, and it specifically says we cannot require the employer to apply for you. Of course you can require the employer to apply for you. It should be a federal law. The employer must apply for you. Why do we have a bill that's discretionary? The fact is that Mitt Romney, who I talk about a lot on this channel, he wrote another hazard pay bill that required the employer to apply for you. And by applying for you, it paid the employer to apply for you. Why is this important? Let's be frank. If the employer has 10,000 employees that it has to apply for hazard pay for, and it's not being paid to do it, do you think they're going to do it? Do you think they're going to sit there and get their bookkeeper or their accounting department to do an application for 10,000 people and not get a penny out of it, or choose just not to do it because it's voluntary? They're not going to do it because it takes too much time. But if you compensate the employer to do it, then they'll do it. Or the alternative is you just have the employee, apply for it. This is categorically incredible, great news. Then, finally, the big issue is who is essential. On Purple Power yesterday, I went over, am I essential, am I not essential? Am I essential? I had you ask the question, I answered it back. Today, at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Purple Power Live comes back, and I will do the same thing for you as well. We will be going over who's essential, who's not essential under hazard pay. What's important to understand is that hazard pay focuses on more about where you're working than what you're doing. I sort of mangled that up yesterday, so I apologize. Let me explain it a little clearer. Where you're working rather than what you're doing is what's determinative for essential. Here's an example. If you work, let's say I work at the casino, is that essential? Well, and all I do is mop at the casino. Well, the casino is a bar, and bars are not essential. So there you go. No, you're not essential. Well, I work at the pharmacy at the casino, and I mop the floor. Oh, then you're essential. But you said if I mop the floors at the bar, I'm not essential. But if I mop the floors at the pharmacy, I'm essential? Yes. This is what's a little strange about the hazard pay bill, is that it looks at where you're doing something, not what you're doing. And I use that example all the time. If you work at a pharmacy, and you mop the floors, you're not a pharmacist, you're a cleaning person, and you mop the floors, you get hazard pay because you're doing it at a pharmacy. If you mop the floors at a retail store that sells beautiful scarves for, ahead of SBA, you do not get hazard pay because retail stores that sell scarves are not essential places of business. It's looking at the place of business. And so with that, hopefully that gives you a little bit more clarity. And what's important to understand, that hazard pay has a provision that says we're going to try to include as many people as possible. So we're not trying to be exclusive, we're trying to be inclusive. And that's sort of the spirit of this channel as well. Boy, exciting, great news. Let me go over some credible questions and comments from yesterday's video. Kathleen Rose, they need to get the stimulus checks out now. Michael Landon, amen, they deserve hazard pay. If it wasn't for them working the truck drivers, America couldn't afford the stuff we need. Well said. Connie Presley, they deserve it. Holding loved ones' hands while they were alone. Everyone else that this kept this country running. David Yoel, they need to get the stimulus package done now. Jason, they need to send out money now. Cindy Ads, okay, let's get it going. Patty Barker, yes, but we can't wait. Joni, yes, we're off to races. Oh, yes, you go, LALATE and Purple Power family. David Goon, I'm back on, just got my internet back on. Well, thank you for rejoining us, David Guyen. Virginia Matthews, I really appreciate you sticking with us. Love you, Mr. Purple Power. I do. Even though some of the programming shows change names, I stay on subject. So I don't drop hazard pay. I haven't dropped rent. I haven't dropped unemployment. I stayed on message since day one. Chuck Bossingham, everyone should get $600 a week. We're in the same boat. Kendall Rivers, we need less talking, more work. Cheryl Don Ham, parts of Oregon just got a 2-week pause. It's like a minor lockdown. Yes, lockdown is coming. We need stimulus now because if we get a lockdown, $1,200 will not make it even long enough. We're on, but a lockdown, the prices rocket. Very well said. If you have questions or comments in today's video, drop them in comments below. I might feature them in tomorrow's recording. Also, go to the Funds channel, subscribe so you don't miss a video, and you don't miss when I go live on Purple Power Live, at 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, and answer your hazard pay questions. Also, like this video. It helps put the video higher in the rankings. Coming up next is unemployment on Being a Mitch. I'll go over your unemployment questions because I haven't done this in a while. Which weeks, what months, how much, how does it calculate? All that, and how many weeks of benefits, all that and more. As always, stay informed, stay smiling, and save my life for more.